And the question I want to ask you, which may seem a bit odd, but there's a reason for asking it, is there any song in the world you would like to sing but can't?
Well, there are many classical songs in English, in American, that I would like to do, but my English is not enough. And before to do this, I have to improve my accent.
Are you working on that every day?
No, but I'm around the world every day and I speak often in English, of course, but I don't know.
How much do you have to practice to keep that voice so pure and so natural?
Every day, at least 1-2 hours. It's like a gym, but I have a big passion, and for me, it's enjoying.
So it's still fun. What do you practice then? Do you practice the stuff you've done in the past on the CDs, or do you have fun with stuff that you would never do in public?
Well, there are two parts of the exercises. The first one is the vocalization. It's the exercise only for the voice. The second part is to study new repertoire. Now, at the moment, I'm studying many things. Messa di Gloria of Puccini's for Florence in theater at the end of this month, and then in June I will be in Naples for Petite Messe Solennelle of Rossini, and next year in January Faust in French, and many other things.
Which is the most popular song that you've recorded in the past? Nessun Dorma, I think, has to be the most famous classical song probably ever because of Pavarotti.
Yeah, probably yes. It's the most famous thing that I recorded, and there is Nessun Dorma in an album called Viaggio Italiano.
Do you enjoy singing that? Because it sounds like, to me, one of the most fun songs to sing, because it's just so big and it gets bigger, doesn't it?
It's always a big challenge, because it's everyone wait for you at the end of the piece.
Are you going to get that note?
Yeah.
Do you know you're always going to get it, or is there a certain tension that you might not?
If I'm in good shape, less. But if I'm not in good shape, it's terrible.
Does your physicality affect the singing? If you're overweight, for example, does that affect your voice?
Well, never to sing after dinner or after lunch, at least 3 or 4 hours later.
What is your regime then when you're doing a live show or recording an album? Do you stay silent? Do you not talk for a day, or can you just sing any time?
No, absolutely. I remain in silence all the day.
Is that frustrating, or is it actually quite nice not to have to speak?
No, it's not beautiful, because it's important to have a communication with the people.
On this album, as I said earlier, you've recorded with many big artists, Kenny G, Christina we played earlier, and then there's Stevie Wonder. I know you didn't record this actually in the same studio with him, but are you pleased with the single?
Yes, of course. Today, everyone record alone, no? And they recorded in Los Angeles. Me, I recorded in my house in Tuscany. So, but the result is nice.
Wouldn't you prefer to record with the artist? Wouldn't that be a thrill?
Technically, it's better to perform separated.
One of the things I want to talk to you, Andrea, is about your ability to reach the note, because it sounds and seems so effortless. But how do you visualize that in your mind and make sure that you hit that note every time?
When you study the sing, the goal is to sing easily. The most important thing is to reach a very easy way to sing.
I mean, that certainly would sum up your albums. It sounds so natural, that's what everybody says, and it sounds so relaxed. How much effort do you have to put into getting your notes? Because it seems as if they just flow out of your mouth.
If you suffer singing, also the people that will listen your singing will suffer. So it's important to be very, very natural, very tranquil.
You've performed for kings and queens and presidents and prime ministers all around the world. Has there been any highlight of anybody you've performed to?
It's difficult to say. Probably in front of the Pope.
Have you performed for this Pope yet?
Yeah.
What is the feeling inside when you know you're performing to the most famous man in the world?
Well, it's not the problem is not how much he's famous and people in front of you, but how much he knows the music, how much he's involved in the music. For example, this Pope, he knows the music very, very well, and he loves Mozart. When I performed in front of him, I had to perform Mozart, so it was difficult.
So I suppose for you then, you'd rather perform to a president than someone who knows the music note perfect, is that right?
Yeah. But often the presidents are involved in music. For example, Clinton played the saxophone, and Berlusconi, our president, he sang when he was younger.
What about venues? I mean, you've performed in the biggest venues around the world, all the biggest arenas, the most famous. Is there any thrill doing a venue, or is it, again, just about the music? Does it not matter to you where you perform?
No, the place is very important because it's very important, the acoustic and the atmosphere. For example, I remember a big emotion when I sang in the arena in Verona, because it's the biggest theater where you have to sing without amplification for 15,000 people.
Hang on, you've got to sing for 15,000 people without a microphone?
Yeah.
How do you do that then?
It's a good theater. There is a beautiful acoustic, and you have to sing a little bit stronger.
How can you be louder than an orchestra, though? I don't understand that. How do they get the balance right?
The balance, it depends on the conductor. The orchestra stays in front of you in the pit, and you have to try to sing as strong as possible.
I think this is probably the silliest question I'm going to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you have a rider? Do you have any requests before you go on stage? Do you want a Lima or oranges, or do you need M&Ms, or do you have any specific requests?
No, only water. Only water. Oh, thank you.
I'm just giving you some water.
Yeah. My dressing room, it's very, very easy.